I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world?
I just want to say this, even though not everyone might like it. That sentence, uttered in a low but firm voice by Kim Taehyung, better known to the world as BTS's V, became the starting point of a silence that echoed louder than 1,000 words. In a world accustomed to the roar of cheers, the glitter of stages, and the spotlight of cameras, the moment when someone speaks from the heart and is not reciprocated is actually an earthquake that shakes the foundations of trust. A few days ago, in an interview that was not officially scheduled by the agency, Taehyung spoke. He did not name anyone, did not accuse directly, but his body language and choice of words implied that something was not going as it should. He talked about pressure, about exhaustion that was not only physical, about the freedom that was supposedly given, but in fact was always restrained in invisible spaces. He spoke as an artist, as a human being. And while the public waited for clarification or even just a reaction from Hybe, not a single word came. No press release, no social media posts. Even the standard statement, "We are in internal discussions," was not heard. Hybe chose silence. Silence. As if Taehyung's voice was just an echo in an empty room. Of course, this is not the first time an idol has spoken from the bottom of his heart and not been met with an open response from his agency. But when it's Taehyung, a global icon, the face of Hybe's major projects, and arguably the most expressive figure in BTS, who is speaking is not only confusing but also suspicious. What's really going on? Why is Hybe choosing to remain silent when the world is listening? What did Taehyung say that left his agency frozen in uncertainty? And the deeper question, is this the beginning of a silent resistance? Or is it a sign that the small cracks in the BTS family are starting to become unhideable? Let's explore, page by page, the narrative that has perhaps only been whispered in the dark. And now, finally, is starting to be heard in the light. When Taehyung speaks, the world listens. But strangely, the party that should be listening the most, Hybe, has chosen to remain silent. Not because they don't know, nor because they can't speak. In fact, Hybe's silence feels like a calculated silence. Like they're rewriting the script behind the scenes, waiting for the storm to pass without having to say anything. But the public is no longer blind, and the fandom can no longer be satisfied with sweet, diplomatic clarifications. What did Taehyung actually say? Although not explicit, Taehyung's words contain a sense of disappointment. He talks about things that have been kept to himself, a voice that is often buried, and about wanting to be freer in creating. In the context of the South Korean entertainment industry, which is known for its tight contracts and absolute control of agencies over its artists, a statement like this is no small thing. It's a form of courage, an unmasking. He said it all calmly, without getting angry, without being sarcastic, but that's what makes it so touching and dangerous. Because he's not looking for a sensation. He's telling the truth. So why is Hybe silent? Silence can mean many things. It could be that Hybe is weighing the implications, preparing a narrative, or panicking. Because when a BTS member, whose reputation has helped grow Hybe into a global giant, dares to speak out openly, it's a sign that the bond isn't as tight as it used to be. The public is left wondering, is this an internal problem that's been festering for a long time? Is Taehyung frustrated with his musical direction or personal management? Is this a slow-burning desire to break out of the system? The fandom is starting to divide. Some ARMY choose to believe and support Taehyung, no matter the risk. "If Tae is not okay, we're not okay," wrote one fan on X, Twitter. While others are still hoping that this is just a temporary misunderstanding. They want to believe that this family, BTS and Hybe, is just weathering a temporary storm. But what's most disturbing isn't just Hybe's silence, but also how silent his bandmates are. Are they also restricted from speaking out? Or are they, like us, trying to figure out what's really going on? Is this the beginning of something bigger? It could be. The history of Korean entertainment is filled with stories of idols who finally spoke out after years of silence. Some were finally free, but many more slowly faded from the spotlight. But Taehyung is no ordinary idol. He is an icon. He is a voice. And if he chooses to speak out now, then he must be ready to face all the risks involved. Hybe's silence may be temporary, but the big question has already been thrown into the air. And when that question comes from someone like Taehyung, the world will not stop searching for the answer.
To make you sit, listen to what they give. Don't ask questions, shut your lid. Yeah, don't ask questions, shut your lid. I need to run away from this and go get off the grid. Feel like my brain is overloaded